And here I thought I was gonna have a pleasant day at work until you walked in. Didn't I tell you a lot not to just barge into my office when it's my time? You might be able to get away with that with your little group of friends, but in here I'm your superior. I'm the one who decides whether you continue to breathe or spend the rest of eternity rotting at the bottom of a river. You try something like that again, and I'll have your head. And... oh. Oh my, how rude of me. Who's the guest? So you're the little thief who's been trespassing on my property, stealing my shit. Bring them over here. Come here, love. Let me get a good look at you. Yes, I know they're blindfolded. I have eyes, don't I? Damn. You're a looker. Your eye's a little bruised. I trust my men didn't take too kindly to see you on my property, huh? Leave us. And don't come in until I give the order. First things first, I'm gonna have to pat you down. Standard procedure. Oh? No gun? I'm insulted. Alright. There's two ways this could go. You tell me the truth, you behave politely, and everybody walks. You lie to me, and I find out, you're gonna have a much bigger problem than a black eye. You understand? You see, I'm a man with many virtues, but all things considered, I am not a patient man. I'm sure you can see where I'm coming from. I mean, it's hard work, running businesses, dealing with a bunch of shitheads all day, and keeping my land under wraps. Which looks like I'm already failing at, considering you managed to just walk past my guards, acting like you own the bloody place. So, love, you mind explaining what on earth you were thinking, crossing over onto my land and stealing food, weapons, medicine, things my people need to survive? Now I can understand. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there. People are fighting for just a couple of crumbs, thinking that a couple of painkillers and a rotten apple is the difference between life and death. Deep down, I knew you were stealing from us. And I knew for a while, actually, way longer than you think. The only reason I didn't do anything about it is because, very simply, I wanted to see how far you'd go. You started off small, slipping away with a couple of bullets, a bottle of wine, things like that. Things that could be replaced. But then you started stealing in larger amounts, until practically 1/4 of our supplies went missing in a couple of days. It was then that I realized you were picking up the pace. Almost like you were being rushed. Like you were desperate. Which leads me to believe that you're not just stealing for yourself anymore. You're stealing for somebody else. Mind helping me wrap my head around something like this? You know, I see your lips moving, but they're not making the sound I want to hear. Everyone who lives or operates in this side of the city. Lawmen, policemen, businessmen, even the guy who makes your coffee at the bodega, they're all under my control. They're all under my supervision. Not a dime falls in this city that I don't hear about. Living here for over 6 years, you start to recognize the faces of every single schlub who lives here. Except you. I have never seen your kind around here. Which leads me to believe that you're a newcomer. Somebody I don't know. Someone I can't trust. And if yours is one I would definitely remember. So, back to my original question. Who are you stealing for? Yet again, pleading ignorance, acting like you're in denial and have no clue what's going on. kinda cute. If it wasn't so sad. It's fine. I'll find out sooner or later. I always do. You know, you remind me of someone. It's a funny story. I had a shrink under my payroll a few years back. Skinny guy. A bit taller than you. Soft eyes behind a pair of thick, foggy glasses. He wasn't anything special. I mean, I almost forgot his name a couple of times. He was a coward. He never liked seeing violence of any kind. Blood, gore, aggression, stuff like that. He couldn't bear to see it. I mean, he couldn't even hold a conversation to save his bloody life. I mean, the only reason I kept him around was entertainment value. Seeing his face curl up and wince whenever I would catch a rat in my group and give them the beating they properly deserved. And then out of nowhere, some of our medical supplies just went up in smoke. Poof, like they never even existed. I didn't think much of it at first, but it soon became apparent that someone was stealing from us. From me. I, of course, suspected everybody. My bodyguards, a corrupt officer on my payroll. Hell, maybe even the waiter who brings food over to my table. But no, I was a fool for suspecting such obvious false flags. It was the shrink. Who would have guessed? Well, he had been pickpocketing bandages, painkillers, thermethazine, you name it. All for his sister who had been shot by one of my men. Needless to say, when I got wind of this, I wasn't upset. No, I wasn't upset at the fact that he was stealing from us. I mean, he had a sick family member who he wanted to treat and protect. There's nothing wrong with that. In the end, family is all we have. No, what really made me upset was the fact that he lied straight to my face, claiming that the missing supplies had nothing to do with him. And he'd tell me if it was the case. He lied to me. And that is unforgivable. And so we tracked him down, tied cement to his feet, and dropped him into the Hudson River. After that, we found his sister and continued to provide for her, for as long as her body continued to breathe. Why am I telling you this? Oh, I'm just letting you know the consequences of lying, that's all. There's no shame in stealing if it's for a good cause. If you look me in the eye and tell me what you're stealing is for a sick family member, a friend, whatever, someone close to you, I'll let you have whatever you need, as long as it's contained to a negligible level. Remember, I've got people here too. However, if you take too long to answer, or I feel like you're just lying to me, I'll assume you're working for a rival of mine, and as such, and even though this pains me to say, I'll have to dispose of you. So you're not working for a superior of mine. See, now we're getting somewhere, so you are working for someone. You know, I'm kind of curious. Are you a fan of any theatrics? What do I mean? Well, let me show you. See, normally if someone was this defiant and refused to listen to me, I would just put a bullet in their brain and call it a day. But with you, I've gotten kind of attached. The way you stutter over your words is endearing, to say the least. And I can tell, based on the way that you address me, that you know your place. You can quit the act. I know you're stealing for someone close to you. Who is the question? Now, it's fairly obvious I can't just let you go until I've gotten more answers out of you. So here's the deal. I'm gonna have my men dig up all that they could find on you. Medical records, bank information, addresses, things like that. Anything that can find this special someone. And don't you worry, once we find them, we'll take real good care of them. We'll take them off your hands, and we'll take them to an actual doctor where they can get treated and protected before we send them on their merry way. Until then, though, I can't have you just up and about, because if they see you here, then they're gonna put two and two together. That ain't gonna be pretty. I'll get what I want, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get answers, and I do mean anything.